The NES is regarded as one of the best game systems ever made, and it's crazy to think that not everyone sat down with a real NES controller on a real NES on a TV and actually played one. With that in mind, we wanted to give you the games that if you were gonna play an NES, you need to play. These are just the games that helped make the NES what it was. And also keep in mind that while there's numbers attached to these, there really shouldn't be. We just don't have any fancy graphics that don't have numbers on them. Hey, I'm Stuttering Craig for ScrewAttack's Top 10 Games You Should Play on Your NES.
Number 10.
So let's just get them out of the way right now. Your NES experience should always start and end with Mario. Super Mario Bros. Made the NES a power, and Super Mario Bros. 3 maxed out the NES's power. Both games are still amazingly fun to pop in, whether you never played them or are a seasoned vet.
Number 9.
The story of Double Dragon is amazing. Yep, that's it. Double Dragon needs to be played simply because it was pretty much where the beat-em-up started. Yeah, there were other games that came out later that were better, but at its core, Double Dragon is what's great about the NES, and for its time, was a really good adaptation of an awesome arcade game.
Number 8.
Alright, let's be perfectly clear. To appreciate the good, you have to appreciate the bad, and Bart vs. the Space Mutants was certainly a bad game. But you played it because it had Bart Simpson in it. That, and at the time, you didn't realize it was bad. You played it, and you worked around its faults because those were part of the games. And you sure as hell didn't complain about it because at the end of the day, you were playing The Simpsons, and for its time, that was freaking great!
Number 7.
Oh, you're damn right. Some consider this the best sports game of all time, but we don't consider Tecmo Super Bowl a sports game. We consider it athletic chess, with the king being Bo Jackson and the pawns being everybody else.
Number 6.
When talking about the RPG genre, there was much debate, but at the end of the day, ScrewAttack's biggest advocate of Final Fantasy, Jared, even pushed for Dragon Warrior. Here's the thing, a lot of us got this game for free with a subscription to Nintendo Power. I mean, think about that. They must have given away a few 100,000 games, and you know what? It saved the series and it's still kicking ass today. But at the end of the day, we're mentioning Dragon Warrior because this is where RPGs began, and without Dragon Warrior, there wouldn't be a Final Fantasy.
Number 5.
The original Peripheral game, only with a zapper, and it was sweet. Duck Hunt was the first game on the NES to demonstrate that games could be played with more than just a controller with buttons. And it had one of gaming's first trolls. Every time you hear a 10-year-old insult you for failing on Xbox Live, just remember that damn Duck Hunt dog did it first.
Number 4.
Sure, you've probably heard about it, but you need to experience it. The thing about Metroid is that it actually worked within the NES's limitations to actually benefit the experience by having cold black backgrounds and just bone-chilling music. One note here, when you do play Metroid, don't cheat and use the internet for a map or walkthroughs. Make your own map as you go through the game. That is the best way to get the true experience.
Number 3.
There's hard video games, and then there's NES hard video games. Battletoads is a great example that is not only ridiculously NES hard, but also ridiculously NES good, and that's the key here. There's a certain level of joy when you finally make it past the speed bike level after trying for days.
Number 2.
Here's the thing about Mega Man 2. Not only is it a great game with great music and a solid challenge, it's the first direct sequel that got everything about being a sequel right. Look at Mario 2. Look at Zelda 2. They were totally different than their original games. Mega Man 2 took what made the original good and improved on the original concept in every way to make it great.
Number 1.
Prior to Zelda, games were pretty much just run and jump platformers. Zelda showed the games could be more than that. Throw in that you had a quest that was so big you actually had to save your game with a freaking battery pack built into the game, because prior to Zelda, the idea of saving your game consisted of pausing your game, keeping the NES on, turning off the TV, and returning later just hoping that mom didn't bump the NES with a vacuum. Oh, and that adventure? Yeah, there's 2 of them. Oh, and there's secrets pretty much on every screen. Oh, and it had a gold cart. A fucking gold cart. Damn, that is still cool. Here's the thing, there are so many more games that we just couldn't squeeze into just 10 for this video. So if you want to see a bunch more games you should definitely play for your NES, head to ScrewAttack.com. And while you're there, let us know in the comments what games you think should be essential to an NES beginner.